Okay, today I thought as long as we were fooling with dish shooters, I'd go ahead and grab the Robbie one. This box is dated 2002. And get the viewfinder where I can see what I'm showing you. Here we go. Lordy, lordy, he's got all kinds of instructions. And you know, I'm not going to read any of them until I get stuck. And even then, who knows? Looks like this could be the most valuable picture on the box. I better look at that. Dish shooter speed, okay, we know that. Head turn, robotic slide, dance party, walk forward, walk back. Okay, pretty much the same function as our other dish shooters. And as far as I know, this guy hasn't been out of the box either. Nope. Everything is still factory packaged. Never been opened. All the discs still in their bag. Let's get those out. And here's the remote. Still in its bag. Figured we might as well stick some batteries in that while we got it in our hands. Shouldn't take long. Like that. Went in and brought out some of the good Thunderbolts. We got good batteries for today. Let's bring this up. This. And some packing. Let's get the robot. Come on, guy. Something's holding me down. Fight me. Okay. Robbie's got a big instruction manual too. But I don't think we need to spend a whole lot of time on that. Feel free to pause and look at anything you want longer. Because, boy howdy, that's a lot of information for a kid to be expected to look at. Anyway, this kid. Okay, we got that there. Let's get some batteries in him. Back looks very much like the back of the Wiser robot that we just did a repair of and played with. I don't know if I have enough Thunderbolts. Maybe I do. I'm digging. Alright. Thunderlicious. I'm going to go ahead and leave the back cover off that too, since I'll just be pulling those out in a minute. There's the on-off switch. And I guess you push the button here to activate.
Hi, my name is Robbie. All systems up.
So that's a different sound chip than the Space Wisers also. I'm going to drop a couple of discs down in there, just 3, because I don't want to be chasing them all over the place. So let's start with that and see if that part works.
Disc ready. Watch out.
Oh, kind of sounds like the one that I just repaired a moment ago. I can hear the motor running, the spinner's running, and I also hear the kicker motor, and yet nothing's getting kicked out. You know what that means? A split 10-tooth gear, I'll bet you anything. And in order to get into it, I bet you it's just as messed up as the other. Yeah. See, you got these little head screws that you can't get a screwdriver to without taking the front of the body off. It's a complete teardown. Well, let's find out if the rest of the functions work. Try the dance.
Let's party.
Okay, we're not seeing any foot actions. There goes that motor. It's need a little help.
That was fun. Want to do
Never
it
got
again?
this one to go. Slide back. Yeah, still got one motor fighting me. So, this one, newer than the others apparently, 2002, and it's already going to need at least 2 repairs. One, this motor's just going to need to be moved by hand a little bit to get it running. The grease in the commutator is not allowing voltage to go to the motor, so we'll have to strip that one down, and maybe that's possible. And then of course the disc spitter function up on the top. Let's just see if we can take half the shell off and get to that motor without doing some sort of total strip down. That is going to be hard. Where's my longer screwdriver? There it is. I would have thought they would have learned that those 10-tooth gears, when they're drilled out for the big axle, are just going to split. I guess they really don't care. That isn't a question of learning. It's, you got a product that has to just simply work long enough to be sold, and after that, they don't care. In fact, if it breaks, that's better, because then they can sell you another one. I think there's only the 3 screws. Nope, there's a 4th one hidden in this crevice right here. Initially, I was looking at it going, gee, is the heel of this robot cracked? It's brand new. But it's not. It's just how they made the plastic so they could put that 4th screw in there. Okay, so if I took those off, can the foot separate, or do I have to dismantle the legs? It's not showing any signs of wanting to split open. I got that one, I got that. Oh, here's another one. 5 screws. So one hiding on the bottom down here. These are long compared to the other robot. Though I never took the foot apart on the other robot. Okay, the foot is showing some signs of coming apart. I think it's being held together by the leg. So in order to take the foot completely apart, I think you'd have to dismantle the leg, but I may not need to take it completely apart to get to the motor, because I think I can see the motor in there. I should be doing that with it on, but I think I may have taken things apart to the point where it may not go back together. Well, it might. Let's find out. Let's turn the power back on. Initialize.
Hi, my name is Robbie. All systems up.
Still no go. Dag nabbit. And it's not like I can push the remote and keep the foot separated and reach in there to spin the gear, which is what needs to happen. Come here, you. Okay, got some motor action, because I felt it kick my screwdriver out of the way. Yeah, okay. So that little motor's back to life. Now if I can get the axles to line back up. Aha! There it goes. Thank you. It's not happy about not being screwed back together. All right, well, let's shut that down and stick some screws back in there. And, you know, if this gets boring, you can always fast forward. Because I'm sure it's always exciting not being able to see anything and watching someone turn a screw. But see, that's what it takes. These motors sit for a long time, and they put grease on the commutators where the brushes are on purpose, because they don't have carbon brushes in cheap toy motors. And if you don't grease them, then they literally will wear out almost instantly, because it's just metal on metal rubbing as the motor spins. And it'll chew the brush up and the motor will be toast. So they have to put grease on them or use better motors, and that isn't going to happen in a cheap toy. And the problem is when the grease gets old, it kind of dries out. It certainly doesn't conduct well. And sometimes you need to spin the motor a few times by hand to get them going again. And that's what I normally do by spanking the toy or trying to find a gear that I can spin. And it's always better if you can spin the motor gear while power is applied than trying to spin it and then apply power. Okay, so we got our walking functions back. The real question is going to be, let's get the discs out of the head. Glad I didn't put them all in there, because there's a bunch of them. The real question is going to be, since the body is laid out a little bit differently, can I get the top of the head off without taking the front of the body off? And that's what we're going to try and find out right now. I figured I could get to these back ones because I was able to on the Space Wiser. It was the front ones I couldn't seem to get out on the Space Wiser with the front of the body still in place. There's 4 of them here in the back, and there's going to be the 2 in the front are the problem children. Got 3 of them. And 4 of them. Let's see if it's possible to maybe turn the head far enough to one side where I can get the driver up. I think I might be able to on this one. Not 100% sure, but I think so. Okay, I've got traction on that one. And I know you can't see anything, but what can I do? I don't have a camera operator to move things around. Let's try and get to this one. Hasn't made any traction with the screw head yet. In other words, I haven't locked into the little Phillips head. There we go. Now it's locked in. You gotta really hit it straight on. The other screw hadn't dropped out, so I'm a little worried about losing it. Got it. Got it. Okay. I got the top of the head off. And of course there's a wire harness going to the top of the head for the flashing lights. Let's see what we're talking about in here. This wiring harness here that goes for the infrared sensor and the flashing eye lights. And the broken gear, if this one has one, is going to be down there. Here's the speaker for the sounds. This is the rev up motor. But while we've got it apart like this, let's power things back up again and just look at it and make sure.
Hi, my name is Robbie. All systems up.
Okay, so this first button is the one you push to get things revved up. That That's revving up good. Then this is the fire button.
Watch out.
Yep, it's not happening, so again, you're not going to be able to see anything here for a moment, but basically I'm going to remove the screws from this disc kicker and we're going to take a look and see if that one gear is in fact split. This mechanism is just a little bit different than the last one I worked on, but that doesn't mean they can't split a gear. Because the motor was running, a little motor that does the disc kicking. The screws are in different locations than the other robot, so the whole design is a little bit different. That screw is shorter. Hopefully I'll remember where that one went. Okay, here we are on the bottom, and I'll try to get the camera close. So maybe you can see, this is the gear we're talking about in the other one. Yeah, it shouldn't have just come off like that. And I'm going to look at it up close and see if I can see a split in it. Dropped it. Where'd it go? I hadn't seen the split yet either. Is it over here? Nope. Okay, so will this be a part 2 where I go and get another gear and drill it out and press it on? I guess it will.